guys all for showing up. I know it's a late agenda. I actually, there was just a technical mishap. So I have the slideshow in the presentation for the Measure E people, the trash collection fee. There was just a slight miscommunication. They should have been here tonight. So you guys, I can send that out to everyone tomorrow, and you can present it at your smaller boards, and then we'll have them next month. And if you guys have motions from your individual groups, we could talk about them here and maybe do a bigger motion.
Could we
Yeah.
maybe form a subcommittee of CPC to prepare a motion for next month?
Yeah. If you want to.
There are at least 2 other people.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's asking a lot. I'll call the roll. Sorry, Barrio Logan. Carmel Mountain Ranch. Carmel Valley.
Here.
Encanto. City Heights.
There.
Claremont. College Area. Del Mar Mesa. Downtown. Eastern Area. Here. Greater Golden Hill. Kearney Mesa. Kensington Talmadge.
Here.
La Jolla. Linda Vista. Here. Midway. Mira Mesa. Mission Beach. Mission Valley. Navajo.
Here.
Normal Heights.
Here.
North Park.
Yes, present. Sorry.
Ocean Beach is here. Old Town. Otay Mesa. Otay Mesa, Nestor. Pacific Beach. Here. Peninsula.
Here.
Rancho Bernardo.
Here.
Rancho Penasquitos. San Pasqual Lake Hodges. San Ysidro.
Here.
Scripps Ranch.
Here.
Serra Mesa. Skyline Paradise Hills.
There.
Southeastern. Here. Tierra Santa. Torrey Hills.
Here.
Torrey Pines.
Here.
University.
Here.
Uptown.
Did you call Del Mar Mesa?
I did. Del Mar and Del Mar Mesa. Yep.
Just came in.
Okay. We'll go all the way. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, great. Merlin and I were debating this. Did we send out the minutes?
Yes.
On Friday? Okay.
Oh, I love the minutes. I did. Minutes? No, I haven't seen.
I don't recall.
Oh, I get it. I got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, that's okay. We will push the minutes to next month then. Okay, fantastic. Do I have any non-agenda public comment? Carla.
I do, unless there's community first. The Peninsula has written several letters to the city this last month, and we have written a letter because it's due to City Council's motion of January 30th that directing staff to return within 60 days of the proposal to align the City of San Diego's One State Youth Program with state law. We have a letter about that. We have 2 copies, and then we wrote a letter requesting from our council member about evacuation in light of the wildfires and craziness. We'd like to see some plans and some information about getting us out, which, you know, back in the day, they used to say what to do and they bent the nuclear attack. If you're my generation, you know, you bend over and teach your so we're kind of feeling that we are. I have some printed copies and everything's on the pcpb.net website. If anybody wants to look there and use the letters or inspiration or whatever.
What's the URL for the website?
pcpb.net.
PC.
PCPB, that we're community plan. And they're on there, they're on the homepage. Make sure refresh the screen, and it's the agenda's there, and it's more information on the more.
Thank you, Corla. Marcel?
Yeah,
Yes,
2
you can.
things. One, Carl Randy was our previous chair, dug through our community plan, and we finally figured out where they got the 31 base units. They took, instead of in our residential, they went to commercial, which sent 47 units per acre. But it also says that it has to be a discretionary permit for the turquoise tower So Carl wrote an amazing letter to the city of San Diego, so we're waiting on that and see if that might be a reason to overturn the turquoise tower. The other thing is I put this on your desk. This is Patrick Condon, who wrote a book called Broken City. And he's not a NIMBY or a YIMBY. He's a guy who really wants to talk about how we can make housing affordable. And he's out of Massachusetts, and he's done an amazing work on Vancouver and a few other cities. And so he's going to be speaking. We're doing a webinar March 24th from 6 to 8. I don't have the webinar thing up yet because I'm too cheap. I have to pay my $79 for the month. So yesterday was the 24th. So I will be putting that up on our website, which is on this thing, Neighbors for Better California. So I highly encourage you, if you have questions on the thing, there is a form to ask the questions, or just email me directly if you have particular questions for him.
Your email is?
BothwellM@icloud.com.
For those of us who have planning group meetings that night, I had reached out to you.
Yeah.
It will be available as a recording.
I am recording it, yeah. I am recording it, and then I'll put it probably up on YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcella. Any other non-agenda public comment? Yes, Paul.
As you all know, we did sign a letter to the city for supporting the limitation of construction in very high fire hazard zones where density would be more than doubled. That material is now the foundation of a website that's sdurbanwildfire.org. On there, you'll find news articles, petition, resources, anything to do with urban wildfire. And I'm currently working to get more endorsements, especially from builders or fire insurers. I think that those are the voices that the city will be paying attention to. But anyone who has a CPG that would be like to publish a letter there, or even if you personally want to publish a letter there, I can get that up on the site and get that in front of people who are interested. The recording of that session, that presentation, and the presentation that I produced there at our last meeting is also posted there. And if any of the CPGs want a presentation, then we'll bring one for Linda Vista and one for Kental. If you want a replay of that in person with latest data, I'll do that for you.
Thank you. Any other non-agenda public comments?
Yeah, speaking along the same lines, Scripps Ranch sent a letter to the mayor, city council members about very specifically the ADUs and the 4-foot setback. That's state of California, but San Diego is a 0 setback. And we asked specifically to convert it back to the state of California in very high fire severity districts. We heard from the mayor's office that they are trying to make it part of the next code update. So that was a nice little win in there, but still send in letters. It's small, but hopefully we can keep doing it.
Yeah, the code update's been pushed back a lot.
Yeah.
So who knows what they're.
Might show up.
Yeah.
They might, I know, that's what they said, the city or mayor's staff said they were trying to get it in this code update, so I was surprised actually.
Okay. Any other non-agenda? Yes, you got it.
And it was written on the back of my graphic, a series of things that I think we need to think about. You can read that at home over the back.
Okay. Anyone else? Final call.
Middle of March, I think.
Yeah, maybe we'll see the presentation next month, but I don't know when do you think the stuff will
That's what the
be?
website says.
Okay, yeah,
Middle of March. But
for the language, and then we don't know how many meetings the subcommittee will need from there. So we might vote on it April. Okay, great. Let's get into the first thing. And Bob came. Bob,
Right there.
you have your Bob would like to present a subcommittee idea to you guys. That falls in line with some of our changes for outreach protocols for our elections and recruiting membership.
Thank you.
We've had a lot of discussions here regarding community planning group communications, the expensive websites and what we can do about that. And I was sitting over here and it's gonna cost like $2,000 to do something like this. So since that time, spent a fair amount of time investigating, okay, what can we actually do? And if there's shared costs involved, then we better meet both our internal needs for communications and can we better respond to the city, represent ourselves and be represented within the city. So I got half a dozen slide here or so to kind of discuss that. Several of us, including downtown New Planning Council, have invested in our own websites. So that's not to say that some haven't already gotten part of the way along. So next slide, please. An example is the Normal Heights Group. They've done a great job with the website, put a lot of information out there. And this is a bit of a lesson learned. So it's not intended to replace existing sites, but it's intended to create an opportunity so we can have continuity with our own sites, have a regular flow of information to get managed from a website where you want to take advantage of a management structure, and then where you want continuity pass along from your existing boards that you're all very proud of right now, but we get continuity to pass on from board to board to board because we have a consistent relationship. So after a couple of slides, I'm going to be selecting volunteers to look at an ad hoc committee to spend some time to explore this. So in presenting an awareness and having some continuity between the groups, there's a lot of ways we can present information that the public gets comfortable as to where the information is. Who is my CPG and how do I go forward with this CPG on that related basis? Next slide. We can do some very critical things like engagement, for example. The city council and Councilmember Joe Lucado, when he put together the CPG, he looked at community engagement as being a priority thing. So we can focus our websites on community engagement, bring out diversity from our communities, show city council that all 42 of us are just enough different that you need to pay attention. Next slide. Communications, community feedback is again in the CPG operating procedures and rules that we've signed up to here. And community feedback is an important aspect to demonstrate how are we getting the feedback? How are we reaching out to the community? We're all going through elections, for example. Are we doing well at reaching out? And does the community know where to find us? Things. In order to do this is a team, but it's not necessarily a conclusion of the ad hoc committee that I'm proposing we set up. But here are a few people that have shown that, yes, within the nonprofit enterprises, there are people in helping us succeed, not only succeed within ourselves, but create an opportunity so we can get some sponsorship, for example. Some people are concerned regarding cost of website management. How do we carry this forward? So from a sponsorship perspective, if we get a lot of the community planning groups work together, we'll build an opportunity for sponsorship opportunities to pay some of these costs. So there's a few people here that are involved, and on this particular ad hoc committee, I'm interested in participating, but not in chairing, because I am on San Diego Social Leagues, and so I don't want that conflict of interest to play in the results of where the committee would go. CPC is, relatively straightforward. What our procedures are, wordsmith a little bit what's up on the website, but this hits some of the highlights that we're all trying to aim at. So the purpose of the ad hoc committee that I'm proposing is to explore how can we do this better. And how can we reach within ourselves to make this succeed? Next slide. So in order to do this, what are the costs that we're looking at? So for the base program, for a customized website format, for a mobile friendly design, to convert between the pads and the phones and all that kind of stuff, in addition to your PC, to give some contact information, to provide some website upgrades and hosting, a basic package would be put together for about $500. Which was kind of something we didn't think we could meet, but $500 is a starting point. Sure, there's upgrades. There's people that are going to want to customize. There's people that say, hey, this all sounds well and good, but I really need somebody to help me maintain this thing because I just don't have the bandwidth to do it myself. Some contact, you want your site to expand, you want it to meet all the latest security permissions. So that would be some upgrade options. Some people might be ready to jump in now. Some people might say, let's start with the basic package, $500 in this year, and then we'll move forward with that. Next slide, please. So beyond that, where are we going? So in order to get management of website, which if you, look at a corporate perspective, you're talking $100,000 for some of these sites that you want to do. Within the nonprofit venue and people that want to make this work in the community type setting, there's management opportunities to move forward. So the $500 package, a starter package, we can provide websites, get the bandwidth necessary, put the tools together. But where are we going after that, year after year? So once your site is developed, you have a $50 monthly, $600 a year proposal to manage this website for the essential level. If you're really interested in engaging and growing with the community, there's growth opportunities for this team, which is one of many, no doubt. But this particular team says, yeah, we can do it for about this price range. And then lastly, for premier package, you can go both feet in and figure out where this is going. So last slide, please. So the action item for the agenda, and thank you, Andrew, for doing that, is to form an ad hoc committee to explore this. Where are the possibilities? What can we do to service the 42 planning groups? The more planning groups are engaged, the more the unit price can come down. The less planning groups engaged, it becomes more of a tailored approach. So it's important that we meet several people's needs. I anticipate an ad hoc committee, if we go out soliciting different people's opinions, might take a couple of months, might take 3 months, but certainly not any more than that. We would wish to have both board member and community participation. There are a lot of good minds out there that can attend to this and bring some of these things forward. Committee will elect the chair. The chair won't be me, but I'll be an interim contact while we're doing this setup. There may be an opportunity for virtual in-person meetings, because it's going to be homework to do, if you will. And the objective is ultimately to promote a communications cost sharing arrangement here at the CPC. So we've contributed the ability of each of the 42 planning groups to participate. So I promise to go through this in a few number of minutes, though I have a flight to catch a little bit later tonight. But if there's any questions.
Yeah, Laura.
I didn't see any costs in there for things like, equipment to do Zoom meetings. And I think that's been one of the concerns, because it sounds like the equipment, like the owl, the one on multiple, is like $2,000, and we didn't see that there. And I think the ability to do the hybrid meeting is going to be important.
And in the, what we're trying to do here is increase communication tools. You are right. This is not a solution for online meetings. Membership for Zoom, for example, $150 a year just for the membership alone. And then above and beyond that, yes, it's helpful in larger group settings to have an owl type of a speaker. And that's not included.
And somebody told me that some of the services, like the Zoom links and stuff, could probably do have group discounts, like you're talking about for the websites and stuff. So apparently some of the groups offer the discounts if you have like 10 people with websites, you get a discount on the price, and possibly with the Zoom, and to look into that.
Yeah, it's excellent for the community to look at where we take advantage of community resources.
That's for a group, and there would be a
Do you want to be on this committee, Laura?
But now I don't remember working on our community and our programs.
Okay. Do I have anyone that does want to join Bob? Yeah, Tori Pines.
No, I don't want to join. I think what they no, what, because all of us here are like the joiners, right? But maybe we could bring this to our community planning groups, see if there's somebody who's not on another committee that might be willing to look at.
Marcella.
So are you thinking, like, we already have a website. Are you talking about us transferring our website to another type of website?
If this becomes attractive for you to consider doing that, possibly, but this is not to force the change to be made. This is to have the group knock their heads together and say, okay, for those that need to improve communication, where can we go? Because we've had several discussions here regarding spending.
Yeah, some groups don't have websites. Like Laura, you said you're just getting your website started.
Well, Visionary got theirs going, I has just started getting theirs going, but my community, there was some miscommunication about billing,
and the bill didn't get paid on time,
Hmm.
and we completely lost everything. Now we're just kind of like you can go in and look at things, but we can't add to it, so we have to
Yeah.
sell.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Bob, I will join your thing. I will send you.
thank you.
Linda Vista?
So this is for you, Andrea. I know we talked about increasing, our stipend, whatever became of that.
So that was received by my department. There isn't any word in regards to what the response is for increasing the stipend, especially given the budget situation. So I'm kind of wondering what's gonna happen too. So we're waiting, for I won't hear anything maybe until the fiscal exact.
Until, so if it is something, you know, you wanna fight for, I would encourage calling into the budget, city council meetings, as well as contact your city council. Because otherwise, I just, with the budget restraints, what it is.
Part of the reason for the drive up to this at the $500 level is because it became pretty clear that the city is currently in an austere budget crisis, so good luck if you want to build a number.
Yeah. Well, why, I mean, since we only have 2 people, why don't we go back to our groups? Yeah, Paul,
Yeah,
and ask.
I'll be on the committee and then I'll address some of the technology concerns. The Alpha price runs about $800.
Oh.
So that's been the largest outlay for normal hikes. Our website is supposed to be free because I have a client who pays for all of my subdomains. So there's no cost there. We use Google Docs for storage. We use Google Groups to track our emails and comply with Brown Act. The Zoom account is running us $25 a month, and then there's an added cost for each additional user. So I was absent last month, so I added our vice chair on as an add-on account. So it's not doesn't jump. I think it jumps another $5.
Well, why I mean, I still think there's no harm in asking your subgroups if anyone does want to join. This might go on for a while. I do also think it'd be worth looking into. Obviously, we ask for reimbursements from the city each year, but I know some groups don't. And it might be worth agitating to find out what happens with all that money and if it can be used for other things. So I would also encourage the subcommittee to explore that. Do you guys want me to email and connect you? Do you have everyone's email? I don't call it.
I will email Bob.
Okay.
Why don't you do the same, just.
Okay, and then if anyone else, from your boards wants to join, you know, have them come next meeting and we can.
I'll be copies of the presentation.
Because it's an action item, you need a motion, a vote, or?
No, a subcommittee can be done.
It's formed that, chair, the distraction, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you, David. Great, awesome, Marlon, you're up next.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Have a
And
good
this,
flight.
life saved.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sorry, I know I came a little late, but for example, when it talks about the website, I know there is a website through the city. Is that what you mean by a website, or would that be a separate website?
I think it would be a separate.
Right, a lot of the boards have an operational separate website from one of the already operates.
Okay.
I think this one would have a lot more advertising, and more, for them, is where the city is just agenda.
Yeah.
And minutes. And
Oh,
I think we can get things done.
City, see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everybody,
guys.
so I have a bit of a preview of an initiative that's going to be coming your way. I don't know the specific time. And I think a couple months ago, I mentioned to you guys that in my report, I will be presenting some previews of initiatives from time to time to kind of give you guys an idea of what's coming up before you guys to discuss. I think last time I talked about the citywide trails master plan. So this time I wanted to kind of give you guys a preview on the child and teen friendly city initiative. So real quickly, let me just come over some speaking notes. And so just to let you know, this is an information item. I'm not the project manager. They will be coming before you guys at a later time, but I'm just here to give you guys a preview. So if you do have specific questions, there's nothing wrong with you guys asking them. I will take them to the project manager and we can get responses back to you via email or however you want to be contacted by them. So you can still ask me the hard questions. I'll just say, I don't know that answer, and I can follow up. All right. So the Child and Teen Friendly City Initiative is city planning's new grant-funded initiative to develop the city's first ever child and teen friendly public spaces design manual. This manual will include policies and design guidelines for public and private projects to create public spaces that are inviting, engaging, and supportive of the unique needs of children, teens, and caregivers. The design guidelines are anticipated to benefit the development and well-being of children and teens while enhancing the health and social life of all community members. Staff is currently in the coalition building and research phase of the project. We have been compiling data to give us a better picture of how public spaces are used in everyday lives of children and adolescents so that we can help promote their rights as a whole. After the existing conditions report is published, which we anticipate to be in spring, we will enter the public outreach and engagement phase in order to promote the draft of the child-friendly public spaces design manual. You can sign up for updates and learn more about the initiative on the Child and Teen Friendly City website. We invite you to both take and help share the caregiver and teen survey, which I believe Andrea sent out, which is linked to this presentation. I can provide this presentation to everybody and can also be found on the project webpage. The survey is designed to gather valuable insights and public spaces and how they serve the needs of children and teenagers in our communities. Your feedback will help shape the city's Child and Teen Friendly City Initiative. The survey will be open until March 7th. In addition, questions and comments will be welcomed through the life of this project and can be sent to the publicspaces@sandiego.gov email. You can send them to me as well. And then this initiative is funded by the County of San Diego CalFresh Healthy Living Program, so not affected by the budget. We've got some separate grant money. This work supports the Live Well San Diego vision for healthy, safe, and thriving communities that's associated with the County of San Diego. For more information, you can visit livewellsd.org. Again, this is also funded by the USDA's, so United States Department of Agriculture's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP. The institution is an equal opportunity provider. Visit calfreshhealthyliving.org for healthy tips. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Marlon.
Yes.
So, you know, with our new administration, is that
So we all got that letter, if you guys all saw that, and we were like, what's going on here?
You go to them.
When we got that letter to stop all the federal funded stuff, yeah, and we're like, what? Right, so then like the next day it stopped, so we're like, okay. So as far as we're concerned, we're still moving forward. This is not affected, like I mentioned, it's a grant, so with the county and also with the USDA, so we're good for now. USDA is also. Well, I don't think our president had said anything about the USDA. Other US. Right, so let's cross our fingers. This is a good thing. So let's cross our fingers.
Well, we should go forward anyways.
Yeah, Laura, we're different.
Right.
So Marla, it seems to me like parks are pretty necessary for this program.
Yes.
And when we come to this meeting, we've got this great park here, this, you know, rec center, the whole bit. A lot of our communities don't. Or we're very park deficient. Are we gonna tie this with parks somehow so that we get more money for parks and amenities? So we can help this new group and this new plan? It seems like they go hand in hand.
And that's a great comment. Yeah, they do go hand in hand. If you take the survey, it did talk about like, what kind of improvements do you want to see at some of our public facilities? So that's always on the table in terms of taking our public facilities, adding more value to them, more utility and improvements.
And also being less park deficient in the areas that are so park deficient. We need more areas for the kids.
I agree.
Guy,
Is Park and Recreation, the Park and Recreation Committee is gonna be involved in this planning process? Have they been informed that it's happening or?
I'll have to follow up with staff on that and and to see who the other stakeholders and other organizations are consulting with. But they will begin an outreach phase to this, and they will probably be looking at those groups.
Marcella?
As part of the Park and Rec boards, no, we haven't. Any of this.
Okay. And this is the start of it, so it's a preview.
But one of the things we have heard a lot about is Measure J and getting daycare centers and things into the Park and Rec centers. And well, the problem is our park and rec centers are so dilapidated that it would require major upgrades to the facilities. Of which I have talked to some nonprofit donors that are willing to make those upgrades, but it's in the millions of dollars just to upgrade our current recreation centers because they're in horrible shape. So, you know, we have, before this starts, we have that was Measure J. So please talk to Parks and Rec about what you're trying to do.
Thank you.
Is this initiative partnering with SDSU because they have extensive child development studies programs?
I'm not aware if they're affiliated with the university at all or associated, but I can ask the project manager to see if they're like involving them or consulting them.
Any other comments? Yes.
I appreciate the presentation, Marlon. I've heard a couple of different things here this evening. What I was under the impression when we started the presentation is that this is for the design manual. And so that suggests that it's for the creation of some manual that will be used to help, you know, figure out how to build out new spaces. But I'm also hearing a lot around this table about existing spaces that are in very poor repair. And so my question, I guess, is does this design manual address that issue directly? That there are a lot of facilities that are dilapidated and really need to be overhauled. Is that part of this, an integral part, or is this design manual specifically for new spaces and new designs and figuring out that thing?
Let me follow up on that one because I don't want to kind of say it's one or the other. Because like when I looked at the survey, it did talk about improving existing facilities. So that kind of meets the intent of what you were looking at in terms of the old ones. Are they going to be considered as parts in addition to new? Because obviously when we put together manuals, design plans, master plans, we're always looking at new stuff. But then at the same time, new stuff doesn't always happen. And we sometimes have to deal with what's existing now and how to improve those. So let me follow up with that.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the park facilities update. We've been waiting for a couple of years at least on that. The last one was in 2017. And to start something like this without looking at what our facilities look like first seems a bit premature.
Marlon?
Yes.
I've already filled out the survey. I thought it was really good. And I'm hoping it is for existing, because if you don't, for the city that's planning, and I wish I had heard this more with the mobility people last month. If we don't involve, we're set in our ways, we're gonna do things, and I know you ride the bus, but most of us are gonna drive. But we've got to teach the younger kids, if you want them to be on bicycles, you've got to make it safe for the younger kids to be able to use the parks, use a bicycle, learn how to ride a bus. There was a lot of questions on riding buses, and most kids don't. So, you know, you're gonna have to involve MTS with that, maybe give the kids free and charge their parents, and so they can have an experience. But we've got to involve two generations, the youngest generation now, to use all the plans that are going on now, and a lot of effort and a lot of money has been put in. We need to make our neighborhoods safe so the kids can get on their bikes, so they can get to the park, so they can and do things that I did when I was growing up. Safely and.
You have an electric bike?
Pardon?
You have an electric bike?
No, I moved to San Diego 40 years ago without a car and rode a bicycle. And I rode to Chula Vista, to Oceanside and all that.
Any other comments from Marlon?
I think there should be a reach out to teenagers. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine for us to fill out this form, but maybe that needs to go to the schools. Teenagers.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty
Good
obvious, so
idea.
let me, yeah, I'll talk to the team and see if that's what they're also doing too. I imagine they would, I mean, this is oriented towards teens and children, it's like a demographic we ever hardly hear from when we do a lot of planning things, because it's cool, right? But we do have to plan for them too in the future.
The Parks Foundation has a evening team night in the summer with multiple parks in the city, so if you wanna contact me, I'll get you set up with that. Thank you.
Guy,
Yeah, I also sit on the Park and Recreation Committee. And one of the problems that we have, at least in our neighborhood, if not many neighborhoods, is the staff, paid staff in the Park and Rec Committee will not lean on the parents that bring their kids into the program to become, a member of the Park and Recreation Committee. So you have somebody like me sitting on a Park and Recreation Committee, trying to figure out what should we be doing for 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds? And Park and Rec staff needs to get involved in this process deeply and needs to be really kicked in the butt to start reaching out and doing the necessary recruitment of the actual parents that live in the neighborhoods where they are.
Can you provide survey and how long it's open for?
Until March 7th, the survey is open until then. March 7th, yeah.
Only like in a week.
It's been open for a while. Yeah, unfortunately, I wanted to give this information to you guys last month, but it was a pretty busy meeting, so we kind of have to push it through. It's on the website, yeah. So it'll be, that one, this one. I can provide this as a PDF with the links that are embedded in it, so you can look at it.
okay.
Yes, the caregiver and team.
Any other questions, comments for Marlon to take back to staff?
Are you got a comment?
Yeah.
I think something that happens a lot, like for example, in my neighborhood, because I have a sister that goes to high school, is that the lighting is not like safe, especially as a woman. So sometimes like she doesn't feel comfortable coming back home. And I know that the city has a long, like it takes them like 40 days to fix a light. Is that correct? Or is it wrong? So I was wondering if there's any way that I can talk about that.
It's part of their activity. I can relate.
Thank you.
Oh, anything else? Okay, yeah. Take your pictures. Okay, so in my follow-up email, I'll send this. I will also send out the slides I received from the trash feed presentation. I also received the draft, I do believe, street design manual today. I'll send that in as well. So those are two things we'll see presentations from next month. So if you do want to review them, but for your boards before you come, please do. I see your hand. And then I don't know, David, I like your suggestion, but I think if you guys do take a motion on the trash fee, please just send me that motion and I'll get them all together and I can send them out then with the agenda. So you have different motions from different boards and then we can possibly consider one. So as not to waste the time of everyone else forming another subcommittee. And those are all my chair updates. Do I have any staff comments?
Oh, no, that was my report.
Okay, great. Member comments, yeah.
I saw
Sorry, yeah.
I just had a question about the street design manual, it's an update to the 2017 manual.
Sure, yeah, it's the newest draft.
Yeah, great.
Okay, I'll send that out tomorrow. Okay, so wonderful. Any final member comments? Before we adjourn?
Quickest meeting ever.
I know, well, it was so long, you gotta balance it out.
And you'll send out some minutes again?
Yes,
Some slides.
yes, I'll send out the minutes, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, meeting adjourned.
Happy elections, everyone.
Goodbye.